this is too crazy to say, but rethink maybe Russia should be in the European Union. I get death threats all the time.
If you met that guy who came in here a year and a half ago, what advice would you give him? If you're talking to yourself a year and a half ago. Fidias Panayiotou is a YouTuber. He was big online before he came to Brussels, and he used his online social media skills to get himself elected. Brussels Signal was the first media to interview him shortly after he was elected, and we asked him how he was going to change things around here. He's now come back a year later to tell us what he's learned, and well, he's learned quite a lot. So you're in love?
Yeah, I'm in love.
How did you meet?
We met on TikTok. It's so romantic.
She's a follower?
I'm a follower.
You follow her?
Yeah. Basically, the story is that I saw her doing a TikTok live in my language, Greek. She's from Cyprus, and she was having so many people watching her, like 1,000 people watching her. And like for Cyprus, it's a big number. I was curious, who is this girl that gets as many viewers as I get when I do a live stream? So it was interesting. And then after the live stream, I texted her, and I texted her, if you make, it was when it was the elections, if you make a video that you are going to vote for me, I will bring it to the European Parliament when I get elected. And she did a video, and then I brought her to the European Parliament when I got elected, and this is our love story. It starts here in Brussels, actually.
Is she here now already?
No, now she's in Cyprus, but she comes sometimes with me.
Okay, and you're going to tie the knot in a couple of months, is that it?
Tie the knots, I'm not sure if I understand, but getting married.
Get married.
Yeah, so yeah, in a couple of months. She doesn't allow me to say the date, to be honest, so I'm just an obedient man. What can I say?
Well, will she demand you have children in that case?
I will demand to have children. We agreed on 6 children, but of course,
6.
If that allow us, her body and all this stuff, if everything's okay. So
seriously, you want lots of children?
Yeah, we have a fertilization issue in Europe and in Cyprus as well. So it's one of the primary problems that
going to repopulate Europe single-handedly.
Said example at least.
Listen, on the subject of children, I wanted to ask you what you think, given that you're a YouTube star, I wanted to ask what you think of the new French law to ban children from social media under the age of 15. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. I agree that social media, it is a problem, especially on these ages. I am getting addicted to them personally, and I'm very disciplined. So, but you know, when they talk about this, I think they don't think about all the upside as well. So they think about the downside, but the upside is also huge. So
learning.
Yeah, learning. This is personally, this is the way I learned. Like I was watching YouTube videos, I was watching all these social media platforms, and that's how I got inspired to make content. Yeah. That's how I learned everything that I know, basically. So yeah, it's I think a kind of moderation, it's good, but not to kids, but not, I think, to the extent to ban, because they will find alternatives to see, they will use. So it's...
what's the alternative?
Now,
what's the alternative? If you don't ban it, how can you moderate it? I mean, I try to monitor, I have children, I try to monitor, but you can't be there all the time.
Yeah, the alternative is like, in a way, under a certain age, to have a different kind of algorithms, to have specific kind of videos, like more educational videos.
Like kids' YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Like my boy there, he watches kids' YouTube and he gets bored and then he logs in as me and he watches adult YouTube.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, that it needs to be a kind of moderation for the content for kids. And like in China, I think they have more... sometimes in more educational algorithm, like it promotes more educational videos. So that's how I think it should be, better moderated for kids, not banned, because like they are used to it now. They grew up like this. We are, in a way, for me it's crazy because I also grew up in an age without social media. When I was 13, 14, social media came into, but now kids that are 12, 11, they have a different reality. They have, like, sometimes they have relationships, like romantic relationships with strangers that they never met in real life, and they have on the internet because they play PlayStation together or because they met online somehow in a game that they were playing. So that where they are growing up in a different world. So we need to understand also that the circumstances are changing. So yeah, but I agree there is so many downsides with kids using unlimited same
mental
social media.
illness, this kind of
Yeah.
thing.
So there is a lot of problems, but I don't think banning is the way to tackle the problem.
Okay, listen, this interview has taken place a year and a bit after you came.
We did promise that we're going to do it again in a year.
You've kept your promise.
So that's very cool. So basically, it was, I think, my first interview after I got elected.
Correct.
And it was here. And, I feel more experienced right now.
Well, there you go.
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Well, you admitted to it, though. You admitted you didn't know what you're doing. And we want to take you back in time, the time machine, and we're going to show you a few things you said, and I want you to assess them now and tell me what you've learned.
Okay.
Okay?
That would be cool.
Let's go with clip number 1. Are you having fun? Clip number 1, please, Sergio.
I think one of the most important things to optimize for in your life is fun. And I'm not joking here. I think it's a very serious pursuit to pursue fun. Because when you're having fun, you're learning more. Psychologists say you are more excited, you have better relationships with the people, and we have only one life. So when you choose the paths that are fun, I kind of have like an instinct. Okay, what I will do now, maybe because I was in this dilemma 6 months ago. I'm making, like, let's say, millions on YouTube. Should I just quit all this money and like this job that I love to pursue politics? And I was like, what is more fun? And pursuing politics was more fun for me. So I take decisions based on this instinct, having fun.
Well, I'm going to be interested. Okay.
Well,
your main focus in life was having fun. Are you having fun?
Yes, I am having fun. So much fun. And that's the same goal that I have right now as well.
You haven't changed.
Fun. But I put also, like, because having fun for me is also a big responsibility that I have. Now I want to be useful to society. And being useful to society is fun because it's very rewarding personally for me to see that I'm helping in the society in the way that I think I'm helping. So it's the same way that it's the same philosophy. I'm proud of myself.
Well, well done. Okay. And the second one, have you become a nerd? Let's go with clip number 2, please, Sergio.
I don't think you need to be a nerd to do all this stuff. You can be a politician and be alive, to be full of excitement and do stuff with
I'm looking forward.
Passion. Hopefully,
I'm looking
the
forward.
other nerds don't rub off their nerdiness on me.
Right. Now, this is interesting because obviously before you were doing pranks, when you were a YouTube star only, before you were a politician, that's really, riding bikes and surviving, not eating for a month and surviving on an island, that kind of thing. Now it's politics, yeah? So, have you had to become a nerd?
Yeah, to be honest, I became more nerd. And sometimes when we do videos, like now I see myself and like we're like going so deep into the Mercosur agreement. What is the problems? What is the good, the upside? And like, or all these small things, and all our videos became more like real hard political videos. And like it's so sometimes I'm thinking as well to step back in a way, because this stuff are in a way the bubble of the EU, of the EU Parliament and the EU institutions here. So like the people don't really understand and don't really care. So in a way, sometimes I try to also make videos that are more appealing to a general European audience. Like how much is our salary? What do we have drivers or not? Like to get a bit, or like what is the European Union? How many? To make some more fun things, more basic things that will appeal
that they can relate to.
Yeah, because these are so hardcore political videos.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes I need to step back. But yeah, I became a nerd. But I think I'm a fun nerd.
Well, you're definitely more fun than the rest of them, that's for sure. I mean, you're probably one of the best known members of the European Parliament, I think, because of your social media. Though, am I right in saying that it's become a lot more difficult for you to get the reach you used to have just because the material you're working with, yeah?
Well, yeah, we don't get like all same views that I was getting when I was a YouTuber, but we get half. But talking about the most boring thing in the world, the EU Parliament, is like, I think, good enough.
That's not bad.
So yeah, we still got a lot of billions of views talking about the EU. So yeah, I'm happy with the reach that we're doing. And like, there is, for me, there is always another person that can do entertainment videos, that can push themselves and show to people that discipline what I was doing before, and like try to, in a more fun way, that's what I was trying to do, educate the public through a challenge that I was doing in a way. But now it's more like more serious stuff we're talking about, like we talked before, like should we have more kids in Europe, yes or no? Should we have how we should stop the wars that we are having right now if they're affecting us? So these are like, in a way, I feel that I'm more impactful in the way that I'm doing. And
it's not just about reach, it's about influence, right? Reaching the certain kinds of people. This is what I say.
Influence comes with a lot of bad things as well.
We're going to talk about that. But before we do, in terms of your use of social media, have you noticed any changes? Are you using certain platforms more than other platforms? What about AI? What have you noticed over the last year?
I'm not sure why you threw AI there, because
I don't know. You have to throw it in everywhere now.
Yeah, you have to throw it everywhere. You are right, because it will affect everything. But yeah, I was not very active on X before. Now I became. We have, I don't know, 230,000 followers on X, and I had very minimal before. It's more political, but Facebook is a huge platform apparently as well for political stuff. It's a big reach. TikTok, all the platforms for me is like a commodity. Instagram is like a commodity. I use like all these platforms. I don't really touch to them, or YouTube, for example. But it's just a way to get the reach of the people. But all of them are very
okay for politics. All of them.
Yeah. And LinkedIn now is also in the rise.
Right. Yeah. And what about the length of videos? I mean, attention spans getting shorter.
Of course, yeah. I think as we move on to the world, in a way, some videos on YouTube become longer, and because they get more watch time. So I think it's not losing the long form videos, but because of the scrolling, the way to show your message to the world right now is the short form content. Like, for example, this podcast will probably get 10, 20,000 views on a long form, but when we upload it on short clips, it will get 2-3 million. Yeah. So it's like, you see, this is how the world perceives information, consumes information right now.
Let's go back in time again, because when you came last year, you had some very interesting things to say about democracy. And in particular, obviously, you managed to bypass the traditional party system. Let's have a look at the clip, actually. It's clip number 7. Please.
Phenomenal. I think I saw a glimpse of a more cool democracy, actually. From independent people to the people, and not through parties, through the TV, through the people. I saw people in the people that voted for me and all this stuff, or people that didn't vote, they interacted with me constantly, with messages, with the comments. They were making videos, so that I felt more direct democracy. And I think that's more alive. That's more what we're moving towards the future. And I think more independent people, because it's crazy that just a kid, 24 years old, surpassed all the parties, all the candidates of the whole parties of the biggest party, left and right, in the whole country. So that shows that maybe we're moving to more like independent democracy with social media, with people. So something
get
different.
around the parties, maybe.
Yeah,
do
fuck
it
the
yourself.
parties.
No, I found that
I
comment.
improved my English, by the way, from that time.
Your English was already good. That's not true. It was already good.
Still improving.
Listen, but you're starting a party now?
Yes.
Because I thought, hold on, you were talking about getting around the parties. Now you're starting your own party. So what's going on?
Yes. But I want to, before I tell you about the party, I want to tell you about this philosophy of direct democracy. I think it's more closer to what I think we should have. Like, for example, right now, the parties, they say their policies, and they go for elections. You like the people, you like their policies, and you go vote for them. So, but when you go vote for them, you are voting for an entire package of policies. You are voting for everything. And maybe you disagree with some stuff and you agree with other stuff. So, in the world that we are growing into with social media and all this stuff and technology, there is, I think, the bottlenecks of doing direct democracy are removed right now, because like you cannot have elections every single week to ask for people to vote and go there with ballot stuff and vote. But now with technology, you can ask the opinion of a lot of people. So that's
what you do, right? You ask some of your followers, how should I vote, right?
Yes. I was asking, let's go back through a history. I was asking my followers when I came 1.5 years ago through polls in social media, should I vote for Ursula von der Leyen, yes or no? And like 300,000 people were voting, and they were voting no. But the people's feedback is like, I'm from Venezuela and I can vote about Ursula von der Leyen. Of course, it's stupid, but it was an attempt. So now we took all this feedback and we created an application. And now we have like 20,000 people that download the application. And those people are voting what I vote here in the European Parliament sometimes. Like, for example, we put again, because it was a censor of motion to remove Ursula von der Leyen. And again, 90% of the people voted for me to vote against Ursula von der Leyen. And now it's Cyprus citizens that they have their ID and they verify that they're Cyprus citizens and they vote what I will vote. So now, based on this philosophy of direct democracy, we want to make, in a way, a direct democracy party. And what does that mean? Direct democracy party, by the way, I feel, of course, everyone feels about what they're doing there, that they're very cool and exciting, but I feel we're building in a way the future. This is the sense that I have. I think, to explain you some of the practices that we use in this party, the party name is direct democracy. Before I tell you exactly the practice that we're doing, I will tell you a bit about the results that we are having. So we started the party 3 months ago. The polls started showing us 3%, 5%, then 8%, then 10% right now. And we have until the elections another 4 months. And I don't really believe the polls, because the previous time they showed me in Cyprus that I was 5%, I got 20% of the vote. Because I was independent, people that don't really care about politics, they are the people that vote for me, and they are not the ones that answer to polls to answer. Anyways, so it's going very well. So hopefully it goes very well. Maybe we get 0. I don't really care. I care about the result. I care about the attempt to make something new. But let me tell you a bit about the mechanics, how we do it. So there is an application. We have 20,000 users, and anyone can become a candidate to become MP in the next election. We have parliamentary elections. So we have right now inside the application 200 people that apply to become an MP, and we need to choose 56 of them. So I did a podcast with every single one of them, 200 people, 15 minutes, and like people are seen, some of them are really bad, some of them, but everyone has the right to become a candidate.
Okay.
Like this is kind of democracy. And we're going to have elections inside the app, and people will choose who they want to represent them. So that's the first step of direct democracy. And like, because this is something new, we're going to test and learn. I'm taking this as this business innovation approach that we are going to test and learn, see what works. So in the future, if we are in the parliament, like another thing that we did to decide our policies is we put what is your priorities, guys? What is the priorities of the people? And like 2,000 people put inside their priorities. And they're saying that our first priority is the economy, that is everything is more expensive. Second priority is is justice and corruption in Cyprus. Third priority is the school system, is a problem. Fourth priority is the people refugees that are immigration problem. So these are the priorities of the people. And now we don't have a policy about everything. We are not a regular party that will have an opinion about everything. On these priorities of the people, 4 or 5 priorities that the people chose, we are going to develop policies, and it will be directed by them. What, like for example, about immigration, do you want stronger borders or you want more open borders? So they will vote, and this will decide our direction and policy. So this is like a huge innovation, I think. And when we are going to get in the Cyprus parliament, maybe we get with a lot of MPs. So we are going to be able sometimes when we are going to have actual votes in the parliament to ask the people, like what I'm doing here in the European Parliament. But now 1 out of the 720 MPs, who gives a fuck? I don't have the majority, but in Cyprus, we're going to get probably
going to be big. We have a big influence.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just trying to think through that logically. You're going to come quickly across other issues. For example, there's a time to follow what your people want, and there might be a time when the individual politician feels something comes from their own consciousness or conscious, and therefore they have to go against what their voters are telling them.
I understand, but sometimes because this is the problem. This is the biggest criticism. Like sometimes you are a politician, Fidia, you need to decide because the people don't know everything and you know everything. So this is something very logical. I understand this. But, let's go back to this philosophy that if the people are not ready for you to do to them something, like even if you do it to them, they will have a negative response and then will not be cool. So but it's very important to choose what you are putting to the people, to put the right things for the people to vote. Not everything. Like here I'm voting 400 times every
but
month.
You choose specific issues.
Specific important issues for people to vote.
When you want guidance.
Yeah, when I want guidance, and when I think it's important to ask the people's opinion. Like for example, in Cyprus in 2004, because we have a problem in Cyprus. Cyprus is occupied by Turkey since 1974. Yeah. In 2004, we had it was about they wanted to make peace and they wanted to unify the island, but they put this on a public poll, and the poll showed that I think 70% of the people said no because the conditions of peace, it was not very good. And it was not going to be successful. People thought they can't. So that's, I think, what you should do. You should not do to people, like for example, of gay marriage and adopting kids. Like, if the people don't want this policy, why you should go majority of the people? Because this is how democracy goes. If they are ready and they are okay to have this policy, yes, you should do it. But if they are not
even
ready,
if you're against it for religious reasons, for example, because I've interviewed an MP in Finland who's against it for religious reasons.
Yeah, even if I am against it for religious reasons.
You should follow what your people, your electors want.
This is what democracy is.
I guess so.
Because
but there's sometimes
people decide
But sometimes there's a compromise, isn't it? But you have to compromise in politics, not only with your own conscience, but sometimes with other parties as well. You want to get a majority in the Cypriot Parliament, for example, and so you say, "I'm sorry, I know that's what you want me to do, but in order to get this, I have to compromise with them."
But this should be explained to the people. People will understand. Because
I hope for you they do understand. But also there might be a problem of controlling your own members of parliament, because you might say, "Okay, we've decided."
Yes, that's another.
Are you going to be able to sack them?
Another problem, but that we might face, because now a lot of the people are more like independent people. They are not like people that are very party.
Will they
people.
Vote as a bloc?
So but the way to control this is to tell. The only thing that we said in the beginning is, if you like this direct democracy concept and you respect the will of the people, then this is what you should do to become an MP. So when we will do polls, they will follow what the people say. But of course, I expect that usually that you cannot, this is what happens in politics. Some fights happen, or some people get angry and they leave the party, or you kick them out, or for what reasons this happens. But this, I expect that it will happen more in this party than the regular parties. But I'm okay, but we don't know yet. Let's see actually the results.
Okay, but
maybe this freedom and maybe it keeps them more. Because sometimes that's what I like about this stuff. It's very hard to be a politician. Like, for example, now in Cyprus, I'm getting cancelled about a stupid thing that I said. It was a mistake that I said about some vulnerable people. So
this is the loonies thing.
Loonies.
When you say some vulnerable people, I've seen articles about. You said
it was about some people that they go in the Paralympics and they have some mental problems. So I don't know how to express this. It's very politically. So I said that crazy people, and the other person that I was doing the podcast with, he said something I didn't understand, and I said, "Did you say crazy people?" And everyone gets this, and they play everywhere in the TV right now. And that now I have like 100 articles saying about this. I have 100 TV stations saying about this, and it's like I feel like a big part of the society is attacking me. Politics are hard. Like you need to be very strong to handle politics. But it's a good thing. Like you need to be criticized because you want to improve and all this stuff. But I think some of this direct democracy, because politicians have so much responsibility, is to share the responsibility with the people as well, and the people decide. So in a way, you are educating the consciousness of society. Like, for example, I don't know if you understand, but sometimes politicians do also mistakes. So like, I expect the people sometimes when they vote to make mistakes that they shouldn't vote. So we are going to learn as society together. And we're going to learn we made a mistake, we improve in the next time, and we share this responsibility and we grow as society instead of just the politician and we attack and we attack.
Listen, I like the idea. I'm just wondering, I'm trying to think of ways it could go wrong. I mean, one thing that could happen is you might get egos. I mean, imagine you have your group of MPs, and then wow, you're a big party now. You get the right to nominate the Minister for the Economy, or Minister for Migration, Minister for Technology, and you're going to who? Okay, let's have a vote. People might get angry. They might say, "Actually, Fidias, you've been great. You've given birth to this new democratic movement, but now you can retire." And they might get a challenge to you as a leader.
Maybe it's a good idea because of this will solve these problems. I think the direct democracy, because if we vote for what positions or who will there's nobody like this happens with parties. Because I think we're solving this problem that you mentioned. Because when you run as an MP with this party, actually. I've lost a bit my thought, but when you are an MP with another party, I'm fully confused.
I was talking about how are you going to handle the egos within the party?
So when the parties, when you actually vote, it will be the people that you choose. The people that in what they do in other parties, I choose the people because I'm the leader of the party. I choose this and this and this. So you have people egos because you didn't choose me, you chose him. But when you actually vote,
I guess so.
it will solve, I think, the problem for key positions. So this is what we are doing. Like, there is no problem who I'm putting as an MP because the people voted. So we're solving, in a way, this issue, I think.
And this would apply to the Ukraine war, maybe. The reason I mention that is because I want to talk about Ukraine and the war. Okay.
I think I still have the same opinion, right?
Oh well, let's find out. Let's go with clip 3, please. Says.
I don't understand a lot of things, but to me, as an outsider, it seems like a war between evil and the greater evil. So it's not good or bad. So, and to this...
just to understand, did you just say between two evils?
Two evils.
One lesser, one greater?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
So, because I think this is not a war between Ukraine and Russia, it's between the United States and Russia. And like millions of people are dying, and the Ukraine became like the playing field that USA is doing the war. So I don't know. I think greater evil is United States and evil is Russia. Yeah.
What do you think? Have you changed your mind?
This is a huge problem. So many people died since 1.5 years ago, and I think we could stop that 1.5 years ago, and we could stop that long time ago. But we chose to now that I'm a lot more, in a way, experienced about this topic, I researched it, I positioned myself and all this stuff. First of all, what a great struggle it brought to the European economy, this war. Now we are funding the war, we're funding Ukraine and all this stuff. Okay, I understand that this happened, the aggression by Russia. I agree 100% that this is military, what they call, I'm confused,
occupation
to Ukraine. But the bigger picture is what I described back then. Like, this is a war of the United States now, but now it's so clear to us. Like, we are Europeans, we are buying weapons from the Americans to fund. The Americans are profiting right now, and this is a proxy war to make us European weaker and Russia weaker. And who is the biggest winners here? China and United States. But you see now the tides are a bit changed. Like Russia, we didn't even stand a chance back then, and I don't think we stand a chance right now. So they are winning territory every single day. They are probably going to win the war. Like, for me, it's like 99.9 certainty that they will win the war. So and now that's why we see all this shift from, I think France is now shifting, Germany is now shifting to one more like a diplomatic solution, because they understand that this is a huge problem for the European economy and all this stuff. So I'm happy to see this shift, and we need to find and force a diplomatic solution for the killing to stop.
You've been accused of being pro-Russian. Let's have a look at you. You must remember this bit. And this clip 4, please.
I've spoken to multiple people that have raised concerns about you for a long time. I spoke to Christopher, who was a friend of yours that helped get you elected. He said that he feels regret and remorse about that he created a monster. He also believes that you've been putting out information that is an asset to Russia. If you put out disinformation and pro-Kremlin lines on a daily basis, especially from here, that makes you a Russian asset whether you're paid or not. So how do you respond to that?
And I don't know if we want to see. There's this other incident about the vote for the vote on the reported kidnapping of children. I think that's clip 5. Can we just have a look at that quickly?
I felt the resolution was exaggerating the problem. And not only that, I felt that Europe is trying to use this very serious issue to demonize Russia even more.
Why talk to him? I mean, why? He's a war criminal.
So let me make sure I understand that correctly. You abstained from a report condemning the kidnapping of children by Russia. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So,
In fact, you voted against it and then you changed your vote to abstention.
yes, when I saw that only 4 people voted against, I was, maybe I'm doing something wrong. So I went and put abstention. But let's talk about this abduction of the children. So as I read the report, it said that it's 20,000 kids that have been abducted. And I was researching myself. These are like official stuff that the EU was giving us to research and all this stuff. I researched myself and I didn't find any evidence that these 20,000 kids. So because they use this, I'm against the war. I'm against the funding of the war. So they use this abducting of children. They use this and to make, and inside the stuff they're putting to send weapons and all this stuff. So I'm against of sending weapons, but this is how they package it, and this is how propaganda is happening. They package it with all these things for members of the European Parliament to not have a choice but to vote plus, because their political careers will be ruined, like they attempted to do mine as well. So, but since I own my social media and all this stuff, and I don't have a party, this is nothing that you can do. I will still be me, even if you attack me all the time. So anyways, about this, I found that there is, when the Russians and when the Ukrainians were asked how many kids, it was like the least 360. So in a way, should we be voting lies in the European Parliament? I think no. So I think my vote on abstention was correct. So I don't know if you have any other reporting about this, but as far as we know right now, it's not 20,000, but it's a lot less. So because of their numbers that they were wrong, and because they were trying to sell all this other package of selling weapons and all this stuff, of giving weapons to Ukraine, that I'm against, that's why I voted abstention. But this is... understand. I understand the European Parliament right now so Russophobic, so fucking Russophobic. This is what unites us as the European Parliament. I can say. This is how they form majorities right now. They are using this as But I don't feel that strategically you don't want to have a war with Russia right now. You want to have good economic ties with Russia, because the US now is moving their focus from Europe.
Yeah.
We see it right now with NATO and all this stuff, bullying us and all this stuff, with the trade agreements and all this stuff, tariffs. So they don't really pay too much attention to have the collaboration that we had. So we need to stand on our own. And to stand on our own, first of all, you don't need the top 3 most powerful countries in the world, like this United States, China, and Russia, to be at war with them, because that weakens your economy and all this stuff. So you want to have good economic ties with them. So I think, in a way, this is too crazy to say, but I think maybe Russia should be in the European Union.
Well, there was talk about Russia joining the European Union 20 or 25 years ago.
It's possible right now because of this conflict and all this stuff, but at least good economic ties, because Russia, the gas, it affected so much the economy. The sanctions that we did, it's also to ourselves that we are doing sanctions. So we are hurting ourselves in the process of all this stuff.
And what about the fact that you are out?
And Ukraine is not in the European Union, let me remind.
Right.
Cyprus is in the European Union, and Cyprus is occupied
by
Turkey.
I'm going to talk about
that. For me, I feel so big hypocrisy that we are talking about reconstruction and all this stuff, and we are not doing giving pressure to Turkey or money to Turkey or sanctions to Turkey. Like where there is double standards, zero.
Okay, no, I think we've got a clip on that one as well. But before we talk about that, I wanted to ask, so given that you're outside this European Parliament majority, which is let's call it, you call it the Russophobe majority, given that you're outside, you've been attacked by some people. We've just seen one example there. Do you feel as if you're the bad boy or one of the bad boys in the European Parliament, and have these attacks, including in some of the other media here in Europe, have they had an effect on you, your personal life, or your ability to work in the Parliament?
Well, definitely it affected, especially in the beginning, because I visited also Moscow. So I went with other members of the European Parliament to show that, guys, there are people, there is so much stuff that unites us. Let's I wanted to push for a diplomatic solution. This is why we went. And I went to see with the other members the president of Duma, which is the parliament in Russia. And they received us very well. They are so excited and they are very hungry of talking and solving this problem diplomatically. Anyway, as this is what I understood, at least we were very well received. So so it affected a bit my in a way working in the parliament, because sometimes I will go and I ask for, can you pass this amendment or can you vote me for this, and they say, no, you are a puppet of Putin or all this stuff. But sometimes, because this is a so important topic, I think it's worth to fight for. But not in a big way. Like people, in a way, were around 200 people in the European Parliament that we vote on this stuff the same way. So I'm not alone.
Okay.
I'm out of the 720 members, we're around 200 people that we share this opinion. So, but they try to label them as far right, or they do cordon sanitaire. They don't work with them. So I think I was labeled, but it didn't really affect me in a way. Sometimes when I try to pass some stuff, which I'm still passing a lot of stuff, like they are voting because based on content, they like what I am voting. And I have a lot of friends as well in the European Parliament, even with those that they are against me from EPP, they will have different opinions, or SND. I still work with them and I tell them we'll cooperate and all this stuff. It affected me a bit in the beginning, but I think my image, to be honest, not really, because I still get the same views. I still it doesn't really affect.
There is now this expenses inquiry that you've answered online. I saw that.
They say that I'm spending 5,000 to 6,000 euros per month on the rent, and that I'm staying in a tower with my future wife. Honestly, guys, I don't know where do they get these ideas from, because this is not true. First of all, I don't live in any tower, but I live in a small apartment that I rent for 1,200 euros per month, which we pay, of course, from our own money. And apart from this, I have an office that I use to work with my team. Part of that rent is paid by the European Parliament, and the rest comes from my own money. And the simple reason is, besides my duties as an MEP, I also use a room in my office for podcasts, something that I discussed with the European Parliament from the beginning, and you can see in the email exchange that we had with them here.
You seemed to hint that there might be a link, though, between the fact that your expenses are under investigation and they don't like you for some reason. Do you think that you've been picked on or not?
Let me explain you for regular people how politics work. So,
and for me,
I'm starting a party in Cyprus. For you to be in the parliament, and now they show us 10%, maybe until the elections we'll have 20%, and we're the biggest party in Cyprus, who knows? What does that mean practically? That so many people will lose money that they're already receiving. We're talking about millions, and I'm talking about millions and millions and millions and maybe hundreds of millions in power that companies are paying these parties to blah, 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 to have power to influence policies and all this stuff. So I expect, I told you, everything that I do right now is the biggest news in Cyprus. All these coordinated attacks from all the political parties to make me seem that I'm the stupidest person in the world, the most immature person in the world. Sometimes I am doing stupid, immature things, I will admit, but I'm trying to improve. So this is, there is so much money on stake. So I expect that now they have a budget of millions, and I know that is for fact, that they are now working to make my image look bad.
To bring you down.
So they are fine, like for example, with this investigation on the European Parliament. for me, it's crystal clear. Like, because anything that I do, because I knew that this stuff will happen, because when you're popular and when you get more power, this stuff will happen, investigations and all this stuff, with anonymous people that they
Yeah, I
did.
didn't realize you could make an anonymous complaint. Yeah.
So anyways, so I expect that I expected that this will happen. That's why with the European Parliament, about every single thing that I'm going to spend, I am in consultation with the European Parliament. Like, when I went to the European Parliament and asked, is it okay that my office in Cyprus, I am using also a part of it for my business, and because I don't want to have two offices in Cyprus and to go one, I'm like Saturday working, to go from one office to the other. I want to go there to work in one office. Is it okay? And the European Parliament said, yes, it's okay. So I have this documentation. So these are the things that other people said. And with all the stuff that we are doing, that the accusations, we had documentation with the European Parliament that I went and said before. But yeah, I don't know what will happen. Hopefully everything is okay. But I'm very confident that I'm okay on my side, because
Right. And you think there's a direct link between this investigation into your expenses and the fact that you might be breaking the mold of Cypriot politics?
yeah,
Okay. They're out to get you, basically.
yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
this is also like scary, because they come inside in Cyprus and they write with graffiti on my house. My personal, I get death threats all the time.
I was going to ask you about that.
So
I mean, that's no fun. You talk about having fun, but that's no fun.
Well, I'm living in a movie, my friends, so it's fun, to be honest.
Yeah?
Yeah, it is fun.
Okay, if you say so.
But see, I did in the army. I'm a Navy SEAL, so like doing all this dangerous stuff and like be living in the edge of danger and all this stuff is kind of what I'm used to. So it's not like
right, but your fiance might not feel the same
definitely.
way. Right?
My fiance does feel in the fun.
Okay. So let's talk about Cyprus then, because I want to know.
Cyprus now has the presidency of the
presidency of the EU, but that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about.
I just wanted to remind the people that we are a small country in charge of 450 million.
Well, in charge, that's not really true, is it? I mean,
Well,
the presidency decides the agenda, right? That's all. They can't force decisions on anyone, can
But
they?
I think because of, in Germany, like when it becomes the president of the European Council of the European Union, I'm confused with all
whatever
these
it
names.
is. Yeah.
And they employ like 20,000 people to work on the policies. I think they are having some substantial impact on the. But Cyprus is a lot less the impact.
Right. So talk to me about Turkey, because you talk, because you've likened Turkey's occupation to occupations elsewhere. I'll let you explain it.
Well, so in 1974 there was an invasion in Cyprus, and now it's been 51 years that we're trying to have a solution. And I feel the European Union is doing nothing. I believe they just talk. Yeah, we support Cyprus, but with actions they don't really do anything. So I feel that the European Union, if we want to don't have double standards, we should. The people that are in, like for example with Greenland, it was a united response about Greenland, all this stuff. I don't know what will happen and all this stuff, but I don't feel that is the same thing for Cyprus, because I don't see any actions that are happening in Cyprus to push a solution, because we have a big leverage as the European Union, because Turkey wants to have good ties with us, and we're a very diplomatic country. They play very well the diplomatic game, so we have a lever to push them. Cyprus cannot do shit. Like, we're 1 million population. What we can do? Turkey is so big, 80 million population. They are the second biggest country in NATO.
Military.
So, but as the European Union, we can push, and I don't feel that they are pushing.
So what should they do?
They should put sanctions
on Turkey.
They should push. We are going to give you this and solve the Cyprus problem. Even Kaya Kallas is having a hard time, which is the
top diplomat of the EU.
of the EU, having a hard time to say about Cyprus. He's saying all the time about other conflict, about Russia, and she never mentions Cyprus. Almost never mentions Cyprus in that. And recently, it was my friend, MEP from Cyprus, was saying that I did a speech I said about Cyprus, and Kaya Kallas was there, and she responded, "It's not my job about Cyprus. I'm about the outside countries of Cyprus." I'm like, what? This is stupid. Like, we're talking about the foreign policy of EU, and we're talking about Turkey. Turkey is not in the European Union. We're talking about you can leverage the power of the EU to solve a problem for a member state in Cyprus. So, yeah, I try very hard because to not say bad things, but it's difficult for me when it comes to Ursula von der Leyen and Kaya Kallas to not to find all the good things that they are doing, because I think they are more in a way negative for the EU than positive.
Are you talking about Turkey in particular or in general?
In general, I think in general.
Why is that?
I think we have a big problem in the EU. We have a war now that is going on. We are not taking the necessary things to fix this with diplomatic type. We are losing the technology thing. All the innovation is happening not in Europe. We are now we're in a way pushed where our babysitter is the United States, and we cannot stand in our own legs. Energy is a huge problem in the EU. Immigration, it's a huge problem in the EU. So yeah, there is so many problems that we're not tackling, and I feel that they are not doing their job to their standards.
What do you think to Donald Trump? What's your opinion of him?
Well, love him or hate him, he's doing a lot of interesting things. So I don't have an opinion. We need to cooperate. He's the president of the United States. We need to cooperate. He's putting America first. Like we saw, he doesn't give a fuck about international law. We saw what happened with Maduro and all this stuff. So he just plays the game. He plays the game. The most powerful can do whatever he wants. So yeah, we need to. I think this is how the world works. Even if we try to be, all together, sing the Kumbaya and make laws and all this stuff. If you are not powerful, if you are not powerful, if you don't have hard power, strong, then the soft power, the diplomatic power, would not work. So we need to, in a way, have these initiatives that we are having right now, not to fund Ukraine, but for us to become powerful inside the EU, also economically and also militarily, so we don't depend on the United States. Because I don't really trust the United States, and they prove that they are not trustworthy. So we need to keep the relationship, but on the back, start building and standing on our own feet.
If this party thing works in Cyprus, will you become a member of the Cypriot Parliament?
That's a great question, and it's a fun answer, actually. If I decide to actually be a member of Cyprus, of the parliament, and not here.
Right, you'll have to resign here, right? Or not? How does it work?
It's to happen again elections in Cyprus, European elections, after 40 days, because there is nobody else to take my seat, because I was an independent. So it's so I decide also if Cyprus elections will happen or not.
Right.
If I
across the whole island.
Yeah. So it's fun. But I don't know. It depends on the result, actually. If I will run as a candidate right now, probably, but not 100% sure. But I'm not 100% sure what I will do. If we are the biggest party in Cyprus, I will think about it. But because we are building also a party, political party here in the European Parliament, there is a lot of independent people that, like me, that we share some similar views about social justice and foreign policy and all this stuff. So we're having an initiative to start a new political group in the European Parliament. So that's an interesting thing that we're doing. Cyprus being the biggest party in Cyprus, also it will be interesting if this happens. So I need to choose later, not now, what I will do. But yeah, it's fun that I would choose the island having elections or not.
And if you met that guy who came in here a year and a half ago, what advice would you give him? If you're talking to yourself a year and a half ago.
There is so many advices.
Go on, then let's have the top three.
First of all, is to understand that to find the key is the people. To find the right people. So I was going to give more emphasis on finding the right people to be in my team, to help me do stuff, because I did so many mistakes for finding the wrong people. But it is the game. You improve and you. Another thing that I was going to say to him, to not take things so personally, because sometimes when I'm getting in fights with people, or I'm a bit emotional, especially with my friends, with my fiancée. But sometimes people have their hard days. You don't take things so personally. When forgive I still forgive people very easily, but to do it a bit more, don't take things so personally. Another thing that I was going to say to myself is be a bit more careful with politics, because one mistake can cause a lot of trouble. So is not try a lot of things, but have people next to you that they also take care of you, because
For example, you're thinking of something in specific.
A lot of things.
Well, give me one example. What do you mean? It sounds like you said something you wished you hadn't said.
No. A lot of things as a problem. Like, for example, this thing that happened right now with that I'm telling you about Cyprus. This happened before 2 months. So, and now it came up to...
You're talking about the podcast in which you made these comments about the Paralympians, is that right?
Yeah. So this happened 2 months ago, and I understood immediately that it was a mistake and like stupid thing to do. So we could edit that out, but because my team, it was a new person that I hired, and he didn't really know how all this sensitive stuff. So this is having my team to take a lot more care of this stuff, because yes, we take care, but we need to take extra caution, because one mistake, one thing, we are humans, we make mistakes. So and a lot of things, we did a lot of mistakes, so we need to improve. So there is a list of unlimited things.
But surround yourself by the right people. That seems to be the most important thing you're talking about. Is that right?
I think that, but it's an ongoing process. But even if I gave the advice of this to myself, he doesn't have a good sense back then what is the right people. So it's always a problem. So also have fun and enjoy the moment is more better advice.
Final question then. When you came in here for the first time, you were still undecided as to whether you should remain an independent or join one of the European Parliament groups. You were talking, in fact, with the Greens at one point. You were thinking about it. You decided to remain an independent. And I guess you're a great interviewee because you can talk openly without worrying about pissing off the other people in your group. I'm wondering if you've been happy with that decision.
That I stayed independent.
Yeah. But you, at the same time, you're now talking about putting together a group of independent MEPs. So
So I don't really like how any group is operating in the European Parliament. I don't really like how any group is operating in Cyprus. That's why I started my own. So I don't fit with anyone, I think. So this new group that we're trying to do is like has also the stuff that I am very interested. Like I think that the AI, like you mentioned, will take over the conversation for the next 5 to 10 years. And AI is not so political right now. But yeah, like you understand how many people will lose their jobs in the next 5 years.
Right.
It should be the number one
Yeah,
topic
I agree with that.
to talk about. And we are putting inside our, in a way, we're inside our group that we're putting it as a priority. And also we're putting, in a way, we want to make it more fun, because I know how to operate social media and all this stuff. I will help all the other MEPs as well. We're going to form a team to help them all with social media, to make them also very famous as well in their languages, English, whatever they prefer. So yeah, we want to hopefully it will happen.
But then, if you're a group, will you lose some of your ability to talk freely? I
No,
don't know.
because
I don't know.
we agree on the same stuff. We agree on that this stuff about Ukraine and Russia. We agree on Gaza and all this stuff about social policy. We agree. So of course we cannot agree in everything, but I think we agree on a lot of things. That
You just mentioned the word Gaza, because I say this because a year and a half ago I asked you about Gaza and you said, "Oh, I know nothing about it. I don't want to talk about it." And that's
yeah.
what.
But I learned.
Go on, and what have you learned?
I learned that Israel is committing a genocide.
Okay.
So yeah,
But that's a polarizing subject, let's say.
yes. But I think the facts are there. So many people died, ethnically trying to cleanse Palestine. Of course, like Cyprus wants to have good relationships with both. Israel is our closest country, I think, Israel. So we need to be, we want to have good relationship with Israel, but I think they went too far in what they did. And in a way, the past couple of months, it's been a bit better, but still not what it needs to happen. The past couple of months, I feel that to make economic sanctions to Israel as EU because of what they are doing is probably the right solution, because we need to put pressure and show that we don't want to cooperate with someone that is committing a genocide.
Okay, that's a now. Let's leave it there. I just was wondering, have you kept up your other YouTube stuff, or are you 100% a political animal now?
Well, I did kept some of the things, but I'm not very successful. I'm not a very good YouTuber anymore.
I'm going to survive for the next 7 days on this side of the island with only a knife. And my friend Olia will do the same on the other side of the island. And now our goal is to see who can survive better, boys or...
Definitely girls.
The last video that I uploaded was like 9 months ago, so I don't have time to do all this stuff. But I kept a bit the podcasting part. Podcasting is something that I really enjoy, like what we are doing right now.
Yeah.
For me, it's amazing because I'm learning from you, you are learning, the people are learning. And since I'm in a journey of learning, this is one of the meanings in my life, I feel podcasting is like my sweet spot that I want to improve. And like, it's also very interesting for political reasons. I would not say it like this, but in a way, podcasting, because I have the big podcast in Cyprus, the biggest podcast in Cyprus, and also we have a cool podcast in English that it gets 100,000 views on average every podcast, which is cool. You should listen to it. But in a way, podcasting is a way to shape the public opinion. It's the number one way to shape I think right now, because when you have to what you believe, like when it's about let's choose a policy about the history of Cyprus, if we need to reunify with the Turkish Cypriots, you can have a historian right there to explain you what happened, and it's like people learn about this and they are more sensitive and more empathizing with the Turkish Cypriot community to solve the problem. And the podcast gets 50, 100,000 views, and then it gets the shorts 1-2 million views, and the population of Cyprus is 1 million people. So it's a great tool because, like, as you understand, politics, for me, it's 60% the information war and 40% the actual policy affecting. Maybe 50-50. But because to stay in power, to continue influence policy, to continue, you need to control in a way the public opinion and have, because you don't want the public opinion to control you. So that's a great way. Like, for example, what is happening in Cyprus, like, for example, with all, not because I did a stupid thing, it's an organized attempt against me to make me look bad, which I agree, I did a mistake, you should make me look bad. But all of them, they are getting, let's say, 1 million views talking against me. And when I make a video, I did a video today apologizing, it will get also 1 million views. So in a way, I control my narrative, which is very important in politics. Very, very important. This gives you the freedom to do whatever you believe and to not rely on other people. And that's, that's, I think, what is unique about me. Because, I heard Elon Musk say that when you combine two industries, in one industry, like, for example, because he did Tesla before making cars, he now did rockets. The knowledge of the factory making now to make Teslas that he put now to the rocketry, it's like everyone thinks of him like Spider-Man in the rocket industry, and he proves it. So I feel in a way similar with being a YouTuber, knowing all this stuff, how attention works, and coming into politics, and I play everything in my hands, the social media stuff. So I feel that I have a superpower. I'm like Spider-Man.
Well, that's how you got elected in the first place.
Yeah, this is what politics is. It's about elections and getting votes and all this stuff. So yeah, this is another important part that is important. Okay. In a year, we speak from now.
You're going to do it again? That's great. Thanks. He's made that promise. I didn't even ask him. How about that? Okay. See you in a year. That sounds good to me. Thanks, Fidias.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.